Hello Internet, in this video we're gonna see how you can customize your ThingSpeak graphs from looking like this to looking like this, alright? These nice cool graphs using Chart.js. As you can see, I only have a simple prototype that is comprising of a Node MCU and a DHT22 that is sending data into my live ThingSpeak channel here, alright? So what we're gonna do is we need to customize these graphs on our own to make them look like this using Chart.js. If you ever used ThingSpeak before, you already know that it has limited graphs, which is why in this video we are going to try to customize and make our nice looking graphs for temperature and humidity using Chart.js. So stick with me. Now to get started and follow along this tutorial, you're going to need a ThingSpeak channel that has two fields. The first field, which is this one, will be for temperature and the second will be for humidity. You can see how beautiful it is as the DHT22 is sending the data into here. So the next thing, you're going to need to have a text editor, and it will do. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and create an HTML file. So this is the HTML file that we're going to use to create the customized graph using Chart.js. Now, before we do anything, I want you to notice that in this menu right here, when you go to APIs, you see something here which is read feed channel. All right, so this is the API we're going to use to grab the values from the ThingSpeak to our own customized graph. All right, so let's go. Now I'm going to head back to my HTML file. The first thing we need, maybe let's change the title here. I'm going to say custom graph. All right, or if I can type. So then we will need some libraries, some outside libraries that are going to help us to to be able to deal with the graph things from the Chart.js. All right, so the first thing we're gonna need these two right here. I'm gonna grab them from somewhere and paste them right here. So I'm gonna hide that. So the first one right here is the jQuery library. The second one here is the main library that we're going to need, which is for Chart.js. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Now, the next thing to do is we're going to create a container that is going to hold our chats. So I'm going to create a div called container. And then inside this container, we're going to put in something that is called a canvas, all right? Canvas, like that. So first, let me style this this container. I'm gonna go here, put in a little bit of CSS. I'm gonna select the container. Then first thing I'm gonna set is the background color. So I have a color that I want to use, which is this one, the background color. Now the next thing to do here is to set a width. I'm gonna set a 50%, and then to make it align into the center, which looks good, I'm gonna do all the margins and set them to auto. All right, save, and then back to my Canva right here. I'm gonna give it an ID called my chart. All right, just like that. So maybe here we can put just a little bit of text. Let me put an H1 and say ThingSpeak graph, like that. Now from here, everything else we're gonna need is from JavaScript. So this is the only HTML we need. So let's go back a little and see how it looks. So you can see this is where we'll put our graphs. So let's go back now. So I don't want this tutorial to be so long with me typing everything, so I'm gonna explain the code. So first, let's put a script right here. This is where we're gonna put our JavaScript. Now the first thing we need to do is to get our document ready, and yeah, so I'm gonna put it like right here, just like that, and then I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna close this like just like that, and with it's just like that. All right, then get inside here. The next thing we need to do in there is to create a function to get our data from ThingSpeak. All right, so I'm gonna create it like this, so it'll be just looking like that, and then I have to close it, then get in here again. The next thing now we need to do is to declare the variable that is going to hold the URL of our API. So let's first go into the ThingSpeak right here and see the API that we need to use. We need to use this read channel field. All right, you can see it right here. So I'm gonna copy this and then go back into my here. So we're gonna declare a variable named maybe URL, which is equal to, then paste in the API. So remember, we have two fields. All right, so we have to add the other field right here. In fields, I'm gonna add the second field, and then after here, after JSON, I'm gonna put the API key. All right, the API key, which is equal to, I'm gonna go back into my ThingSpeak and then grab the read API, go back right here and then paste it here. Then make sure that here we add and, just like that. So now this result right here is the number of data you need to see being displayed. So if you want like only 2, you just put 2. So but I'll go with 5. We'll see how it looks and then maybe change it. So then I'll come here. The next thing to do now is to grab the data from the ThingSpeak API. All right, URL. So I'm gonna copy the lines, so I have this right here, then I'm gonna put it in here. This is the function that is going to help us, grab the value from the URL. You can see we're passing in the URL and then the data. So let me close it up just like that, just like that, and then go inside here. So now we're going to declare what we need to display on our graphs. All right, so if we go back into our ThingSpeak right here, you're gonna see that we need to display the humidity and the temperature and the humidity. You can see how beautiful it is as my DHT22 is keep sending the data. You can see that now the latest data was like less than a minute ago. As I'm speaking, you can see that the graphs are being updated. So now we're gonna need these values. These are the temperature, and here we have the humidity, and then we need something that is called the timestamp. This is what we'll declare in here. So the first one will be field one values, which will be equal to push feed dot field, if I can type, field 1. All right, and then right here I'm gonna do just like that. So here this is field values dot push. So yeah, now the second will be but I think I'm going too fast. So now the thing we need here is now to create this variable. The first one will be val, and then I'm gonna call it field values, which is equal to that. The second one will be this one. So now this is the field for temperature and it's an array. This is the field for humidity and it's an array too. Now the third one we need is these timestamps right here, all right, which shows us when the data came. So I'm gonna call it maybe timestamp, just like that. And then now we need to map and push in the values from the API and push them into our variables. So we'll use this function right here as I'm here like this. So now you can see that we're pushing the data into field 1, we're pushing in the feed from field 1, okay, and so forth on the temperature and the timestamp. So now put in a little bit of space. Now we need now to deal with our graph, our actual graph. All right, so we're going to declare a variable that is going to grab these ID right here. All right, here. So I'm going to do it right here. So I'm going to say var. You can use let or anything. So let's call it ctx. That is going to be equal to document dot get element by ID, and then it is going to hold the ID that we put into our chat right here, which is my chart. So I go back, put it in there, and then what we're gonna get, as it's a Canva, we're gonna get the context. All right, just like that, and then that very context is a 2D, just like that. All right, now, so I mean, this is where we start, dealing with the graph itself. All right, so now we're gonna create an object. We're gonna create an object for our graph. So we're gonna say var, maybe let's call it chart, which is equal to new chart with a capital C, and then I'm gonna go inside here and say our ctx. So we're creating an object for these document that we got, and then I'm gonna do like this, then go down. So let me close it just in case. Go inside here, and then the first thing we're gonna set is the type of our graph. So we have different types. The first type, so first let's test with a bar. All right, we'll see some others. Put a comma. The next thing is to specify the data, and then first we need the labels. So the first label that we need right here is the timestamp. All right, you remember that. And then the next thing we need is data sets. The actual data that we're pulling, just like that. And then so when we talk about data, timestamp is this time that you see right here, the data set is that, the label is like this temp that you see right there. All right, so now let's go now and set the first data set that we have right here is the temperature. Let's go and set the label to be the temperature, just like that. Put a comma, go down. Now its data is of course coming from the field 1 value right here. So I will go ahead and copy it and paste it down here. Put a comma. Oops, sorry. Put a comma, then go down. Now we need to, maybe if we wanted to give it a border, let's say border color, but let's maybe leave it now. Let's leave it for now. It's a comma. Now the most important thing we need is the background of our bar chart. All right, so I'm gonna say background color, background color, and the background color here will be a value that I choose, an hexadecimal value. Put it right here. Here it's just a comma, then go down. Now we need our bar to have a border. All right, so I'm gonna say border, nabula color, border width, just like that, and maybe set it to 1. So as it's the last one, I'm not gonna say anything. So now right here we need to add another data set. All right, so these right here were for temperature. All right, now we need to add some other for humidity. So I can even copy this, go down a little and paste it just like that. Get rid of these, push these up. All right. Oops. I think there's something wrong. Let me go back like this. So what I need to copy is from here to add another data set. All right, just like that, put it down there. Now we need to change here and put in humidity, and then field to value. Yeah, I need to also change this background color to a different color, just like that. So another important thing we need to add here, very important thing we need to add is the options. All right, but so far let's see if there's something that is being displayed. If you go back and see, there's nothing yet. So from here, right here, after we're closing the data, I'm gonna need to add something else that is called the options. Oops. Options. Now open and close. So we're gonna put the scales, just like that, and then the y-axis, I'm gonna put the y-axis. Oops, something wrong. So scales, just like that, and then open and close, go back. So now the y-axis, this y-axis right here, open and close, and then we're gonna set it to ticks, just like that, open and close, and then say begin. We're gonna set our graph to start from the least value, which is 0. All right, at 0, and then we're gonna set this to be true, just like that. So I think there's something a little wrong. Let's try to debug. So I have options, yeah, scales. Oh, missing. Yeah, just like that. So now let me go ahead and save, go back, refresh. It's not working. Why? Begin at 0 right here. Let's see if that might be the problem. Refresh, go back. So now I'm gonna go down here and now get to load the actual graph on our container. So I'm going to say get data, just like that. Now here what we're doing here, we are calling the function once to display with the initial graph. All right, so I'm gonna save, go back. Now you can see that we have our graph appearing, which is very nice looking. All right, so if you compare it to these, you can see that this one is better. So now you can see the temperature, you see the humidity. Now I'm hiding the temperature when I click. I'm hiding that, so you can see how beautiful it is. All right, so now let's maybe see when we want to change, maybe to change this graph to not being a bar chart to something else. Let's go here and then put maybe pi, save, go back. You can see that it turned into a pie chart. All right, so if you maybe go here and put on rudder, I don't know if that's how it's spelled, and then you can see that it's looking now like a radar. All right, so what else? Let's maybe put horizontal bar, just like that. Save, go back. You can see how beautiful it is. Now what else? Let's put maybe donuts. Donut looks kind of look like pie chart, but with a hole in it. You can see. All right. So I guess this is how you can, customize your graph using ThingSpeak values and Chart.js. So if you like this video, please don't forget to, smash the like button. And maybe if there's another topic you want us to, bring up, you can tell us that in the comment. So now until next time, peace.